Welcome once more to the world of ticks and peels, of draws and strikes, of hack and hog line. It's the thinking person's winter sport. You've got to think about the terminology. Curling and the women's final of these European Championships, with Sweden playing Denmark, two of the outstanding teams from the last year or two. These same two teams were in the World Championships last spring, and Sweden finished up with a silver medal. The Danes got the bronze, so they're pretty well matched, these two, and here they meet once again. Just taking a look at the Swedish lineup, Maria Hasselberg playing lead for them, Eva Lund there, Catherine Norberg, and the skip Anette Norberg. And a very powerful outfit indeed, unbeaten during this entire tournament so far, right through the 7 round robin stages and then the semi-final as well, of course. And Denmark have a job on their hands. That's Abby Lund Nielsen you were looking at. This is Marlene Krause playing second for them. Susanne Sladsager is their number 3, and their skip is Lene Bidstrup. Both these teams very, very qualified to be here. Lots of experience, and looking forward to a good contest. And at stake is the gold medal in these European Championships. And at the point we join the match here, as you can see, it's still no score after 2 ends out of 10. If it gets to the end of this match and it's level, they go into an extra end, but we can expect some scoring before that, of course. But it just shows you how tight it is. And we're joining the match with Catherine Norberg playing third for Sweden. 31-year-old. And Hasselborg and Eva Lund doing the sweeping as the skip Anette Norberg calls that stone down into the house. And just knocks the Danish stone a little bit further out, but in fact Danes lying 1 shot at the moment here. And just in case you're not familiar with the way the game works, it's the team whose stone is nearest the center of those rings at the end of each game who scores. And each team has 8 stones. In other words, 4 players each have 2 stones, and they go in the same order all the way through. So Susanne Sladsager playing for Denmark. They're third. There she is. You'll hear them calling the shot from either end. At one end it's the skip, and the other end the player who's delivered the stone, and they both have their view on what the sweepers should do, whether they should give it more effort in the sweeping department or not. Now Sweden going to try to do something here about good position that the Danes have got at the minute in the house there. Second and last for Catherine Norberg. Nice shot. He gets rid of one of the opponent's stones, opens up the house. They've been so consistent right through the week, have Sweden. And 1 or 2 tight matches, but on the whole they've looked quite awesome. And when these two teams met in the round robin stage, well, Sweden took the match by 11-4. In fact, it was their highest score of the week. But apart from that one rather disastrous slip up, the Danes have played well themselves, of course, to get here. Just one other defeat in the round robin, and that was against Germany. And then the Danes repay the Germans the compliment in the semi-final by winning that to book their place here. So Bidstrup, the skip for Denmark. Takes out the Swedish stone, as you see. Again, the Danes, well, she'd like to have just checked over a little bit, perhaps behind the yellow guard out front there, but not a bad shot. Just a brief conversation between the Swedish players to decide what to do. Eva Lund will now mark the spot that her skip will aim for. But when the broom is set like that, you can see her holding it there. That's where the skipper Anette will just push the stone out in that direction, but it, of course, it'll curl somewhat. It's the name of the sport. How much it curls depends on, well, one, the degree of spin that she puts on it, and two, how much it's swept by the other two players in the team. They just put a little bit of turn on the stone. If you put too much spin on it, it doesn't grip the ice and just goes straight, perversely. And let's see. They want them to sweep it. They want it to keep on going straight, not too much turn on it, but it's a whip wide, you see. So a little mistake. Almost missed it completely. Denmark with one more. Just taking a look at the various options. In very good shape, though. No score after 2 ends out of 10. Bidstrup with another little conversation with colleagues. Stopwatches on this match, as there were in the Europeans last year, where there's a maximum amount of time the players can confer. Here they could, I guess, in theory, talk about it all night long. Get pretty cold, though. Final stone for Denmark in the third. Bidstrup with a little in-turn draw. And just let's see where she's going to try and put this one. Take refuge behind the guard there, I suspect. That Danish stone just this side of the circles. And she'll try to drop it down towards the forefoot. It's going into the center of the house by the looks of it. Fine shot. So Sweden will have to do pretty much the same thing and just nudge that Danish stone out of the way, hopefully, in order to stop them scoring here. At the moment, the Danes are on 3 shots for this end, but it could all just be spilt now by one good riposte from Anette Norberg. Cleans the bottom. But the curling stone doesn't want any bits of ice or a little bits of debris that might be stuck on it. Wants a perfect connection with the surface of this ice rink here in Vierumäki in Finland. And away she goes. Identical shot. You see another little in-turn, just like Lene Bidstrup did. But what's this result going to be? Norberg looking on as it comes down the ice. We're going to get a score, that's for sure, in this third end, but who's going to get it? Is it Sweden or is it Denmark? Well, she's not done enough. It's a steal. Denmark have won. At last, the stalemate is broken then in this final, and it's one against the head, to use the parlance from another sport. Denmark 1, Sweden 0, and that's in the third. Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be back, so stay with us, won't you?
Discover the most amazing digital music and video with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
125 years ago, certain rock giants emerged. Artists like Cream, Deep Purple, Jethro Tull and Black Sabbath. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Status Quo, Thin Lizzy and the Moody Blues.
In the white room.
They played at festivals which were vast, and they produced tracks on classic albums the sheer scale of which had never been heard before or since. Now, the best 60 original tracks from this era are available on 4 CDs or 4 cassettes called Rock Festival. That's over 4 hours worth. But you can't buy it in the shops. You have to order by phone. If money were no object, there's only one way to recreate the immense sound of these tracks. The other is to buy Rock Festival. To get your copy, call now. At Insight, we know great music when we hear it.
The Volvo Ocean Race sends super-fast sloops through some of the Earth's most inhospitable environments. 10 months, 10 ports, 9 legs, 4 oceans, through iceberg-strewn seas and ship-swallowing swells. For the winning crew, no cash prize, but they can count on a crystal trophy, a slap on the back, and sailing's best bragging rights.
The Volvo Ocean Race, Wednesday at 23:15 on Eurosport.
With Volvo for Life. And brought to you by Tyco International.
The European Curling Championships from Finland.
With Le Gruyère Switzerland, the traditional cheese from Switzerland.
Score after 5 ends, the halfway point. Sweden pulling back in the 4th, getting 2 shots there. Denmark coming back again in the 5th. It's all square halfway through this final. And here at the beginning of the 6th. And the lead for Denmark, still chewing the gum. Obviously helping her concentration hugely. She's got a percentage of 90. That's high by anybody's standards. It's Avi Yaya Lund Nielsen. And the first stone of the 6th end, little in-turn draw. The Swedes will have last stone in this end. That's the small advantage. So let's see what the tactics of the Danes will be to start with. And looks like they're putting one down into the house. Yep. Deciding not to put up a guard this time around. Along the way, the Swedes in this championship dispatched Norway in the first match 7-6. That was one of the tighter affairs, and the Norwegians, former world champions a few years ago now, very disappointing after that good showing in the first, where they just failed to beat Sweden. But then the Swiss having a tough match against Switzerland 5-4. After that, easy one over Finland. They beat Scotland 5-4 too. So they're pretty good in tight situations, the Swedish girls. 9-5 over Russia, 9-5 over Germany, 11-4 over Denmark. A lot of shouting going on here. They want this worked to keep it straight and hopefully to take out the first of the Danish stones. It certainly put it pretty much out of contention. And then in the semi-final, Sweden meeting Switzerland again, and again just shading it 8-7. So the perfect unblemished record right through the championships for Sweden. And this Danish team, not quite perfect, but pretty good. Lund Nielsen second, being swept now down through the house, right on the nose. Denmark beat Scotland convincingly in their opening match, 10-4. Fairly comfortable over Finland, 9-6 over Norway. They beat the Swiss 7-3, that was good. Then they lost to Germany by 9-4. Went past the Russians and came up against the Swedes in their last match and lost that rather heavily, 11-4 in the round-robin stage. And I wonder if that will play on their minds at all during this final. Well, just pretty simple at the moment, but pretty accurate as well. We've seen some very fancy curling being played throughout this week by some of the teams. Some of the men's accuracy has been mind-boggling. Krause playing second for Denmark. Was their third last year. Might call it a demotion in a sense, because the best of the players tend to play third and last. Hard work necessary here to get the desired result. All that sweeping makes the stone go further and straighter. Bit of cat and mouse going on at the minute. The Swedes with the last stone in this sixth end. But if the rink is kept as clear as this, then the best they can do is score one. Eva Lund throwing at 88%. That's good. Same tactic. Nobody wanting to risk anything at the minute. Hello there. Keep the woolly hat on. And the gloves if you're just standing around. Second one from Krause, the 38-year-old senior member of this Swedish team. Big yell again from Bidstrup, the skip. Well, it's dispatched it from the ice again. And just waiting for a little chink from somewhere. Nobody giving much away at the moment. How then Eva Lund second. She's 29. A Regulatory Affairs Associate. So don't cross her. Just a word about England's fortunes in the latter part of this championship. England playing in the B division, the men I'm talking about here. Beaten the Czech Republic just now to get themselves up into the A division next season in the Europeans. 8-6 over the Czechs, and the Czechs a little disappointed in themselves there, of course. They will slip down to the B division. England just failing, though, to go to the World Championships. Austria stopped them doing that. But we were hearing from somebody on our website a little earlier on that England's going to get itself a dedicated curling rink. Believe it or not, doesn't have one yet at all, but one in the pipeline now in Cambridge. So we might see England's fortunes rise just a little bit. At the moment, they have to travel to Scotland normally to practice, just across the border up there, or near Chester in Wales. Still very straightforward here. In the sixth end out of 10 in this final. Russia beat the Czech Republic in the women's playoff 7-2, thereby qualifying for the World Championships. The Czech Republic headed the B division with the women, and they'll move up to the A division next year instead of Finland, the host nation here. Very disappointing, the women. Well, this is a little bit short, as you can see. They wanted to come further. All three of them joining in with the sweeping. Not quite what they wanted. So it looks as if the skip of the Swedish team, Anette Norberg, is called for that other Danish stone in the house to be taken out of the way. Or maybe she's going to draw in around the back of the guard that the Danes have set up for them inadvertently. Let's see. This is Catherine Norberg. Heavy breathing going on here. Eva Lund working very hard there. And Maria Hasselborg doing her bit too. A pair of them getting it down into the house. Well now. Still not any real ascendancy in this game, but the Swedes with last stone will be the happier of the two teams just now, I think. The trick is not to give away more than one shot in any particular end. 73% so far for Lene Bidstrup. Every shot of hers has been marked out of 4 points, maximum of 4. And so after she's played a few shots, you can just see how she's going. If every shot is marked as a 4, which that one certainly won't be, then she'd have 100%. But a complete miss there. And now Sweden. Eva Lund looks on. Catherine Norberg there with it, and just wondering what to do. This is the team that very nearly won the World Championship. Just came up short against the Canadian outfit of Colleen Jones. Third in the world's long time back as well in 1988, believe it or not, and 89 and 91. Long track record of excellent curling. Anette Norberg, now 34, the skip. And on a bit of a comeback trail in this new millennium. 5-2 to Canada in the final of the World Championship. Sweden beat Denmark in the Worlds too, 8-3 the score there in the round robin. And then Denmark picking up the bronze by beating a good Scottish challenge, 7-6 there. The Scots just denied a medal. Different team in the World Championships, and this time around Rona Martin skipping a Scottish outfit, and rather disappointing for her, 2 wins and 5 defeats. Both the men's and the women's teams will have to regroup for their attack on the Olympic title in Salt Lake City. So here we go with Anette Norberg. Nope, Eva Lund asking them to leave it, calling the stone down at this end here. And it swings on in, taking cover behind that Danish guard out there. That's a good shot. 2-2 the score. So once again, Bidstrup will try to disrupt this effort of Sweden to stretch away into a lead here. Well, the last one was a bit of a disaster. Didn't touch any of the stones at all, just right the way through. Must do better this time. Final stone in the 6th for the Danish team, but the Swedes have one more to come. Damage limitation from Bidstrup, hopefully. Outturn draw. Not quite sure what to do with it now. She's asking him to sweep. Nope, stop, she says. What's the line like? Coming down past that Danish guard. Looks a little bit wide. You're going to get a touch on it, but, well, it's not enough. Look, it's not swung enough, and it's left the Swedes in good shape here. That final stone of Denmark didn't come around that guard just outside the house close enough, and it's not got enough of the Swedish stone as a result. Well, Swedes certainly got one, and the other one, it's very close. Look, you can see one red stone certainly closer than the yellow stone, but the other one, I think that's also closer too. It looks like the Swedes are already lying 2 here, and one more stone to come. It could be that they'll make absolutely sure by just trying to knock that Danish stone out of the way. And this could be a bit of a killer end if they make this one stick. 3 to Sweden. Would be a mountain for the Danes to climb. So what do? Just draw around and try to drop the stone dead in the center? Or perhaps just tick it off the yellow stone that's already there. How's your Swedish? Evelyn playing second, but acting as deputy skip in effect. Anette Norberg is the skip, and this her last then on the 6th. Giving it plenty of ice, going down pretty wide, as you can see here. Is it going to draw in enough? Comes across the hog line, that puts it into play. Now it swings in towards the house. Has it got the right line? It's just going to make contact, I think, and it's got it. 3 red stones closer to the center of the house than anything that Denmark have, and the result of that is 3 shots to Sweden. Excellent end for them, but it was really courtesy of some poor play, particularly by the Danish skip, Lene Bidstrup. Change of position here. Sweden suddenly leaping ahead, 5-2 the score after 6 ends out of 10. And this for the gold medal in these European Championships. More to come in just a moment.
Kia, the car that cares. Things aren't always what they seem. Things aren't always what you expect. Imagine the pleasure of finding more value and feeling more trust. And driving a car that's more than you expect and everything you hope for. Expect more. Kia, the car that cares. Kia, the car that cares.
What's skims the cream of last week's action and zaps it out. It's the best of what's been and what's on the way. The drama, the unexpected, the golden moments, and go backstage and behind the scenes of a major sporting event. Watch Sunday night at 10:15 on British Eurosport.
With Kia, a commitment to value.
The European Curling Championships from Finland.
With Le Gruyère Switzerland, the traditional cheese from Switzerland.
Start of the 8th. Sweden going first. They've stolen another one in the 7th, and here we are with just 8 stones to play here, and they've got a very comfortable lead now. I say that actually with just a note of caution, because we were saying that about the Norwegian position in their match the other night against Switzerland. They were 7-2 down. We thought it was all over for them, but they came back magnificently to level things in the 10th and take that match into an extra end in the men's semi. Ultimately didn't do them any good. The Swiss won it with some magnificent shooting in the extra end. But now 6-2 the deficit for Denmark. And Suzanne Slotsager here with 68% so far, her throwing. And perhaps the Danes not quite finding the form they did in the semi-final against Germany. But it's not over. And this looks like a reasonable shot, does it? Comes down into the house and takes cover behind those 2 guards there, set up by Sweden. So that's a good shot. Repass from Catherine Norberg, chartered accountant from Östersund, same town as the Swedish men mostly come from. She's 31. Also plays a little hockey and soccer. Soccer. And that one also a good shot. Takes out a Danish stone and also tucks herself in behind a guard. Fine shot from Norberg. See it again. Checks in. And perhaps not all the way into cover, but let's see, it's still moving, just about. Now then, Suzanne. Your skip needs you. In-turn draw. Lots of yelling going on. They need this to be swept hard. And Abby Lund-Nielsen giving it all she's got, along with Lene Krause. Is it coming on around? Yes, it is. They wanted to keep on coming down a bit further. Well, I think another few inches and it might just have tucked in behind that red properly. Can't blame the sweepers for their lack of effort there, I don't think. Perhaps the Slotsager shot just not quite heavy enough. Bidstrup slow motion yelling. The house, as they call it, the target area in the sport of curling. All these names coming from Scotland, of course, where the sport originated several hundred years ago, probably around about the same time golf did, although nobody's really sure. Lost in the mists, the Scottish mists, of course, of time. Bronze medal match between Switzerland and Germany. And the Swiss just about edging that one. Swiss have had a good championship and been very unlucky, just beaten by Sweden twice in the round robin and then again in the semi-final. And I think Lucia Ebnerter and Miriam Ott and Tanja Frey and Nadia Rötzliberger will be slightly disappointed. They played well. Now, here's the Swedish skips first. Last stone in this eighth to Denmark. But this one just being set up as a guard by the looks of it. There we are, just trying to mix things up again. Slightly adventurous play at this stage of it, but we'll see what takes place next here. So Lene and Suzanne now having a bit of a chat about the next move.
Lene, hvis du kommer ind, ikke, så kan du kun lige snitte den, tror jeg. Jeg tror altså ikke, du kan komme ind og ramme den så tykt. Kan du kun, hvis du fjerner den der?
Ja, så lad os fjerne den gar. Jeg tror ikke på, at jeg kan fjerne de to, uden at gøre ulykker her.
Nej, så skal du fjerne den derovre fra, ikke?
Well, she's got 2 stones to play, and she'll be hoping that she's going to play these a little better than in the 6th end, particularly. Where she slipped below her normal high standards to let the Swedes in and get those 3 shots lead on her. So they're just going to remove this guard by the looks of it. Let's check out what actually happens. Lud Nielsen on the left, Bidstrup in the center, Krauser on the right. The general and the 2 lieutenants, or is it foot soldiers? They're already to march anyway when she says go. Here we go.
Yes! Yes! Ja, kom nu! Kom nu, piger!
And the word from Suzanne Slotsager down here. Look, is please sweep it if you would do. She wants it to go straight. And there goes one of the guards. So now the final shot from Anette Norberg. They look fairly relaxed about it. So they don't want it swept at the moment. So like the way it's going to lie, do they? Well, there you are. At the moment, you see still that red stone at the bottom of the picture there, just in position. Wonder why perhaps the Danes didn't have a crack at that in their last effort. They decided to remove the guard instead. Might have elected to go around the back and get rid of the Swedish stone.
Ja, den jeg kommer med, den bliver jo så bedre end den der måske.
Ja, det er det. Skal du lave dobblen?
Well, let's see. Still taking a look how they're going to come into this.
Den du kommer med er bedre. Det er bedre end vores. Ja. En dobbelt der måske, ikke?
All 4 of them getting in on the act. And in the end, just one will take the shot. And one player has the final decision. That's the skip. This lady, Lene Bidstrup.
På den anden side tager vi en nu. 6, 3 og 2 ender igen.
These have been playing together for a long time. They all started when they were about 17 years of age, the members of this Danish team. And 7 or 8 years ago, they all decided to take a break and have kids. 3 of us had a child at around about the same time. They all came back to competition. And they've been very successful in so doing. And always ready to have a laugh, no matter what the situation. Good attitude. Competitive, but not over serious about it. Not a matter of life and death. So let's see. The 8th end out of 10, and they've got a big deficit at the moment. 6-2, the Swedish team are leading. And so Denmark trying to make a bit of a comeback here with their final stone. And what's the election in the end after all that conversation about it? It's the in-turn draw. She's coming down the open side, despite apparently having looked at the other side and thought about other options. Cross the hog line, and it starts to score, or it's score a bull when it's in the house there, but it's got to come closer than the redstone, and that's exactly what it does. So Denmark gets one. It looked like a fairly obvious choice, really, didn't it? Just draw around and drop it dead there, closer than the redstone to the center, and you get a point. You can talk yourself into defeat if you're not careful. But as a result of that, it's 6-3. Denmark just pulling one back, but just 2 ends left to haul themselves back another 3 shots here and level things up in this final. There we are, almost on the button. That was a good shot from Bidstrup after slipping up earlier on, and she'll kick herself in this match when, if they lose it, if she looks back and sees what happened in the 6th, she'll say, my fault. Sorry about that, girls. 6-3 it is after 8 ends. Come back and we'll see how it all shakes down in a moment.
Change the face of digital photography. With the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Now with Skill Power Tools, a handy wrap case.
Skill, everything you need.
Picture this.
Skill, everything you need.
moment they first plant the pole in training to the moment they step onto the podium, British Eurosport is there. We bring you the drama of the Alpine Skiing World Cup with all its twists and turns all season long, right here on British Eurosport.
Click on eurosport.co.uk for a British angle on Europe's favourite website with British, European and World Cup football. There's cricket and news of the tour. Results from club and international rugby. The latest tennis news. And in the run-up to the Winter Olympics 2002, the inside stories on Team GB. You can even email our studio guests. It's all just a click away at eurosport.co.uk.
The European Curling Championships from Finland.
With Le Gruyère Switzerland, the traditional cheese from Switzerland.
Still throwing at 89%, Aviaja Lund Nielsen, the lead for Denmark. And they're all going to have to throw very well indeed to make the Swedes get into an extra end here, because this is the final one. And still they trail by 6-3. No score in the ninth. And they're just putting up a guard there. You see it's just crept into play over the red hog line. And that's just what they call for. Good opening shot from Aviaja, and that means to say that her percentages will stay pretty high, but the Swedes have been very good throughout. Hasselborg here didn't play for them in the World Championships, but she's let them out all right. They wanted to do it just one more time for them. And nope. That one's been burnt, as they say, taken off the ice. Some offence having taken place there. Just see it. I think she's caught it with a broom, I imagine, by the looks of it here. There you go. Whoops. Or maybe they just decided to take it off because they didn't like it anyway. Whatever the cause, it's out of play. And here's the second one. The Danish lead. Again, just dropping it short. Now, that's a pretty reasonable shot. But Sweden, with such a big lead, will just try to remove these stones from play, probably. Anette Norberg telling her team exactly what she wants. And here comes the young Maria once again. Thanks for all your questions and comments on the website, by the way, during the course of these championships. Haven't got around to talking about all of the points raised, but we'll pick up some of them, no doubt, when we get to the Olympics in Salt Lake City in February. Zan on her knees. And again, they take it out. Well, Robert Galler asking, by the way, how many stones each team has and is entitled to. So it's 2 stones per player, 4 players per team. That's 8 stones. And they all play in order. And Marlene Krause has 2 stones, and she is their second. So some strange goings on here with the Swedish stones. Just want to get that past the guard, and it does very nicely. And comes swinging into the house. Is it covered still, or is it swung too much? Certainly came around a lot. Big draw on that. Nicely judged past that guard stone there. Now we're going to see one left in play by Sweden, maybe. Lund, 29. Married, 1 child. Takes out just one of the guards. It'll do. Difficult task for Denmark at such a late stage in the game, being 3 adrift. But it is strange how things can turn around. We've seen a couple of teams pull back 2 in the final end, seemingly when the game was over and done with. The outturn this time from Krause. Shot from the number 2 here on the Danish team. Again, it's coming in. They're just sweeping it on down into the house. Really trying to sweep it so it takes cover behind that guard, you see. Just a little bit of it showing still, but a pretty good shot. As you watch it all, you just say to yourself, well, if only in the 6th Bidstrup hadn't made a bit of a hash of things, then it might be tighter than this here in the final end. So another removal job, perhaps. Just keeping her eye on it. She will call if she thinks they're not getting it quite right as sweepers, but that's exactly what they wanted to happen. Bidstrup going to swing another one back in behind the guard, hopefully. Let's say Bidstrup, she's made the call. It's actually Susanne Slotsager who is delivering the stone this time. 69%. It's not bad, but it's not the top percentage. There they go. Working reasonably hard on the stone. But not super vigorous because the skip didn't want them to. Just blocking the path in at the moment on that side for Sweden. But guess what? The Swedes will probably try and take that out again. Not a very high percentage either by the Swedish number 3 here. 64% only for her. Normally a bit better than that. This one's going straight down the middle then for the guard, is it? Yep. And actually trying for the double, and well, that didn't quite come off. But pretty easy to take those out now. There's no cover left at the minute. So it's getting a little perilous for Denmark. Second and last shot for Susanne Slotsager. Like all these girls, she plays at the Trivdovre curling club. Got herself a bronze medal in 1999 with this team in the World Championships. And then again earlier this year, so they've been up in the top echelons for a bit. Just wanted it slightly further over perhaps than that. Not quite covering the shot in here for Norberg. Slides down the ice. Let's go of the stone. Right about 40 pounds it weighs. Just under 20 kilograms thereabouts. And there's the double takeout that looked on all the time, and that's why they weren't absolutely thrilled about the position of that guard the Danes had set up out the front there. Didn't quite block this shot in. And so a relatively straightforward strike. And there we go. It's tough stuff now. In fact, looks like they've given it all over. The Denmark team saying, all right, enough is enough. We give in. And Sweden make it look easy in the end. Rather a shame in a way, because Lene Bidstrup just had one bad end as the skip. And that set it all up for this Swedish team. They got 3 in the 6th end. And from then on in, it was just a case of containment. And this is a team that is well used to containing the opposition. So the team of Sweden, led by Anette Norberg, goes through the entire competition without being beaten. Bidstrup going to be a little fed up after all that. Despite the fact this Danish team like to laugh a lot, they won't be laughing too much as a result of this disappointing end to their tournament. Sweden's lead, Maria Hasselborg, Eva Lund at 2, Catherine Norberg at 3, and Anette Norberg, the skip. Between them have seen off all comers in this European Curling Championship to take the gold medal here in Vierumäki in Finland. Now once again you see the team effort that they put in. Don't make a lot of fuss about things, just get on with the job. There's the smile of the Danish team. You see, they know how to enjoy themselves even in adversity. But having failed to win the World Championship, when Canada beat them in the final, the Swedish team comes back at it. Norberg, she's won this championship before, way back in 1988, believe it or not. So first time for 13 years, Norberg will stand on top of the rostrum and take herself the gold medal. It's the silver for Denmark. Switzerland getting the bronze, 8-7, their victory over Germany. And Anette Schupp, well, she just fails to make it once again. The German skip, who's won 6 European titles in the past. No medal of any sort this time around. But there we are. The gold medal goes to the team from Sweden. In second place, Denmark, they take the silver. And it's Switzerland who have the bronze this time around. The European Championships from Vierumäki all over, bar the shouting. But the Olympics are next. Until next time, bye-bye.
The European Curling Championships from Finland.
With Le Gruyère Switzerland, the traditional cheese from Switzerland.
A look at what's next on Eurosport. And coming up later on Europe's #1 sports channel.